Hello, welcome everybody to this eTwinning webinar offered by the European School Education Platform. I can see that you are slowly joining this session. The session of today is entitled eTwinning Stories 6, since it's the number 6 of a series dedicated to the inspiring stories of teachers and educators from the eTwinning community. For this reason, I have the pleasure to have with me today Mario Guedes, who is an eTwinner, also with long experience as eTwinning ambassadors, and you will hear about it during the presentation of today. I remind you that throughout all the session, you are very encouraged to use the chat if you would like to interact with Mario, making questions or sharing your thoughts, experiences. That's actually the meaning of these sessions, who are meant to provide you with useful resources and useful insights from the stories of our educators. So I will now leave the floor to Mario, just reminding you that this session is recorded, as you can see, and the recording will be published on our official YouTube channel as of the next day. So you will be able to catch up with the recording or sharing with your colleagues in case they missed it. Great. So without further ado, I will now leave the floor to Mario and to his inspiring story as eTwinning educator. Mario, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alessia. Good afternoon, all the teachers who are spending a little bit of your afternoon attending this webinar. I must thank you. I was not expecting the invitation, but it's always a pleasure to share a little bit. It's maybe for some of you, it's not quite inspiring, but it's just some tips, some ideas about my journey as a twinner and also as teacher. So this is something I have prepared to share some ideas with you, and I hope you can enjoy and profit from some of the things I will display along these 20-25 minutes. As Alessis told you, if you have any question you would like to do, you can write it on the chat, or simply ask to interrupt me, because I prefer not to speak all the time. It's always better when we can make a stop and explain some specific details. But I will start now. Who am I? I'm a teacher, and this is the first of all, I'm a teacher. And I will talk a little bit about my journey as an eTwinner teacher and next eTwinning ambassador. I was the first time I listened about eTwinning, it was in 2005, I think, just quite in the beginning of this project. And some months later, I got an invitation from a colleague from Germany, sent me an invitation because we were involved in another project, old Socrates Erasmus project, and they start talking about eTwinning, that would be interesting to start this project online. And so I tried to check a little bit more about what was this eTwinning platform, what was the use of it. So I made my registration on the 8th of September 2006. So already more than 18 years ago. As all eTwinners at the beginning, we were like, I was a little bit lost with all this information. And at those times, at those days, there was not so much information, but even though there are already some tips and some ideas about how to implement this online project. As usual, as a beginner, we have started with these simple projects of setting small letters involving the kids to write something to a partner in a different country. And for some years, 2 or 3, it worked this way. As long as we are getting more experience, then we can see all the other benefits that we can profit from using this online platform. But I will come to this eTwinner process a little bit later. So after more or less, let me see, so the 6 until 11 years, I was invited to become an eTwinning ambassador. And this was quite challenging because one thing is to be an eTwinner, a teacher. You work with your kids, with your colleagues at school. You have partners in different countries. You implement all sorts of activities, some projects when some more complex, others more simple, because we must always think about the colleagues with whom we are working with. So some of them are not so experienced, so we must be aware that they also need some time to get involved in more complex projects. So, but about becoming a Twinner ambassador, it was kind of a challenge. And I remember that I didn't accept from the start because I was, come on, I'm not sure if I will be able to do all this work that an ambassador should do, representing your country regarding to eTwinning. So I took, I don't know, maybe 1 week or something to decide. I talked with other colleagues. Some of them I already knew from the NSO, the Portuguese NSO, including some eTwinning ambassadors, and they advised me, "No, you will see that it's not so complicated. You will enjoy, and you bring all your expertise, and you will also support us." So I've started on 1st September 2017, and it was amazing. It were amazing those 6 years I spent on eTwinning. Quite challenging, but I will tell you specifically the most important things I've learned along these 6 years. One of them, it was, you know, probably you don't know, but in Portugal, we are not so many ambassadors. Nowadays, it's around 12, but in 17, we were 9, and we work all the time as a team. So it was very easy because we were not so many, and each of us had its own expertise, and we support all in all kinds of activities, and also to our schools, our regions. Um, I was a training ambassador for the Algarve region in the south of Portugal, but I always worked with the colleague from Alentejo, from Lisbon, from the center, and also from the north, and also from the islands, Açores and Madeira. And it was really, really important, this stage of my life, professional life, because I learned lots of things. I met quite impressive people, not only Portuguese, but also internationally speaking, colleagues from different countries, from different NSOs. And it was really nice these years I spent there. One of the things that I appreciate the most, it was especially one activity we start implemented on the second year in around 2018, when we start going quite often to the schools from each region, supporting colleagues, supporting all the team of teachers regarding a twinning project. What was this twinning project? What was the use of it? How can we implement projects at our own schools with our own kids? What will be the benefits of entering the twinning community? So it was really fantastic, this process of spending almost every week, 1 day in a week. I used to visit different schools in the Algarve, and I met hundreds of people along these years. Then, of course, we still remember it arrived the COVID, and this stage, it was quite complicated because no one was prepared for it. But since we already knew each other as ambassadors, so we some sort of reinvent ourselves in order to support all the teachers who needed help, especially when we are talking about working online and developing and implementing projects online. This way, we have created different kinds of webinars, not only related to technologies or apps, but also some strategies to work with the training projects and with the kids. And This was quite challenging because we were all on the same boat, without school, but with online classes, and at the same time we had to prepare lots of materials to implement, at least in Portugal. We had at the beginning weekly webinars where we presented different apps for teachers, and it was really amazing. It were really amazing, these webinars, because at the beginning we used to use the platform that for the online meetings that existed on the old eTwinning platform, and we were some sort of family, because only 10, 15, 20 teachers, Portuguese only, but we were like a family, because we already knew all these teachers that week after week followed us on these webinars, and it was really, really great. We could share lots of things, not only to present, but also to get the feedbacks from these teachers. But everything has a time, and at 2020, oh, of course, I must, I cannot forget the change of platform when we passed from the old to the new. I was also there at the Portuguese NSO, and this was also, I think it was the most challenging time as ambassador, because you can have an idea, but on the part behind the scene as ambassador, we used to get hundreds of emails asking things that we could not answer, because not even us would have the answer for all these doubts about the new platform. But at the same time we try to enlighten the teachers with specific webinars about the platform. So this scholastic year, when there was the change from the old to the new eTwinning platform, the so-called ASAP nowadays, it was really, really hard working. But as usually, everything must have an end, and I thought that, okay, I was already 6 years as ambassador, so I will give the stage to other colleagues, because I think I've already accomplished my mission, because I consider this as a mission. 6 years, it was quite a good number of years, and as I told you before, I learned a lot, I shared a lot, I met amazing people, but then I decided to not quit eTwinning, but leave the NSO group of Portuguese ambassadors. And now I'm a simple teacher at a school, also an eTwinner. And for instance, some of the examples I will share with you today are from a project I've implemented with 10 other colleagues this last scholastic year. Uh, and we received, I think it was yesterday, probably you have the same email, saying that we got the European quality label, because it was a really good work we have done along 10 months, 23, 24. But let's go to the main topic of this presentation, some ideas to share. These are the main topics. I will try to, I'm checking the time, so I will not waste too much time. 3 tips for the twinning community of educators, 3 challenges faced in the teaching practice, and 3 aspiring resources that have influenced my journey as educator. Of course, as I told you before, probably some of you will recognize some of the things I will share, but the idea is, no matter if it's already well-known things, the most important is what can we do with the things that we already know, or with things that someone already told us and implemented as a project. So this is what I will try to share with you. 3 tips for the twinning community of educators. The first one, and I think it's well received by all of you, uh, it's the collaboration as a word. This is the main, for me, it's the most important. Since the beginning of eTwinning, collaboration must be the key for everything. If there isn't any collaboration, or short collaboration among all the involved people on eTwinning, it will be impossible to put in practice whatever we want to put in practice. So this way, when we are talking about eTwinning and in particular eTwinning projects, we must think firstly about collaboration. Collaboration means that we try to share our expertise with other colleagues, and at the same time try to learn as much as we can from what they know, and be patient also with the colleagues that are newcomers on these activities, because we always try to, as you know, the founder and the co-founder are more experienced usually, but we always try to involve on the projects newcomers because they must start, and nothing better than with already experienced teachers. We can support them and could help them whenever they need. So here I share with you this print from the first video conference we had last year in 2023, September, I think, around the 24th of September, from this project I was telling you about, boosting well-being at school. Here it was not with students, it were only the teachers. It was the first time we met as a group. Initially, we were only 7 countries, but along the project, we became 10 different countries with, I cannot remember the total number of teachers because there were different teachers from different schools. And along the project, we had different video conferences because it's important once in a while, depending on the time life of the project, but at least minimum 1 month project. I think no one has less than 1 month, but usually the projects go for 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 months, or the entire scholastic year. And as long as the project takes, it's better to once in a while to have these video conferences or online meetings with the colleagues, just to check and just to see each other if someone needs extra help, if everything is okay. Even if we have WhatsApp groups for specific for the project, as we had, or emails to contact. But these online meetings are also very, very important. And all this will lead to a strict collaboration among all the participants, and no one feels that is isolated, or no one is paying attention to some difficulties that this person may be experiencing. So collaboration is the first key I would like to give you. Second tip is this innovative approaches with digital tools. Along this project, and of course, you are always now, everybody's thinking about IA, artificial intelligence, because everything is possible to do with artificial intelligence. But it's also important not to forget the old apps that exist, and programs that we may profit for our works with the kids. So some of the things we have used along this 10 months project were well-known things, such as the Padlet. You can see here, we had this wall with Padlet, where we share all the activities, different activities that were taking place along the project process. And we had this specific place to display them. At the same time, we have generally that it's very useful to create presentations and quizzes, all sorts of things, and the same with Canva, that we can bring to our classes to give, but at least here, I think in Portugal, the majority of the kids already know these 3 apps, because I'm sure the majority of the teachers work once in a while, ask them to do some sort of presentation, and the kids are used to use especially the Canva and the Genially. So these are old but always updated tools we can use, and as I told you before, it always depends on the use you give them, because you can reinvent the scope of the app. Depend on what what do you tend to reach by using that application. Here. The Padlet can be used also to create an interactive timeline or present some specific events that may occur in different countries of the partnership, and so on. Here we have another, this is another example of these tools. This was made with Genially. Um, I forgot to tell you at the start, every project has a plan. Sometimes we discuss this plan better with the kids, other less, but along we have the main activities divided through 3, 4, 6, 8 months. But along the process, it's possible that new activities may occur. And this is one of them, this multilingual dictionary with words and expressions specifically related with our project that we've decided to implement already when the project was, I think, at the middle. I think this was made probably in January or February, I'm not sure. But this was not an initial activity that we had planned, but it was natural. It simply came in one of our discussions. We decided, oh, it would be nice if we had this new activity for the kids also to have to learn something about the other countries. So we have asked the kids to support us on creating these, selecting these specific words, search the translation in the 10 different languages, and then to upload everything to this common generally presentation where everything is displayed. So some activities can take place not only as planned initially, but can simply born along the project process. But of course, and I was telling you a few minutes before, the artificial intelligence, I also had the need to share with you something, even if in this project we hardly use any artificial intelligence. But I think it's important as a tip to leave you some things, at least to think a little bit about the artificial intelligence that I'm sure lots of your students also use it. But the problem for me, even my students use it the same as me. The problem is not the use of the artificial intelligence, it's the way they use it, and especially the critical thinking about the use of the artificial intelligence, because they must know something in order to be critical when the results are given according to the prompt they upload to the ChatGPT or to other intelligence, artificial intelligence uh, app. So it's important if it exists and if we know that the kids use it, so why not work with the kids also the artificial intelligence in order to prepare them to make a good use and a profitous use of this artificial intelligence. Regarding the eTwinning, the combination among this new era and the eTwinning projects, what can be the use of the artificial intelligence? For instance, to have personalized learning, and probably some of you have already tried to have it. We have different students, different with different characteristics, and we can ask ChatGPT, for instance, to create a specific learning path for this specific student. And we can use it also to improve our eTwinning projects, adapting contents and work with different levels in order to include all the students. We also can use it as a collaborative content creation because stories, poems, scripts, everything can be done by using artificial intelligence. It's just a question of planning very carefully before in order to think what is the use, why I'm using the artificial intelligence, why can I cannot use the old-fashioned way? Why cannot work the old-fashioned way? Why the artificial intelligence? Because probably some new things can be created with this impressive tool. So, and if it exists, we must also share it with the kids, especially how to use it properly. Another thing that can be supported by AI is the gamification. So lots of projects and challenges and different kind of activities can be given always if we have a good prompt launched to the ChatGPT, for instance. We can also use it for data analysis, automatic translation, augmented and virtual reality, create a chatbot. For instance, this could be an interesting activity to implement with the kids, to ask them to have them creating and developing a chatbot to answer specific questions made by them and to help them how to create these things in order to support them. So this is something we can also work with the kids. Also produce animated videos, analyze sentiment in text, create an educational game, create virtual robots, create virtual learning environment. So even if I didn't, we as a team didn't use all these IA, we have used some specific topics, but not so in a complex mode as I'm presenting here. This is something I thought it could be interesting to let you to think a little bit about, especially if you are intending to create or starting new twinning projects. This is something that you should consider it in order to start your work. But when we think about IA, it's always important to remember AI is a powerful tool that can transform the way we learn and teach. By using it creatively and responsibly, you can create innovative and engaging twinning projects. This is the main idea. So everything can be used, but it depends on the way you use it. Because if you don't know, if you simply want to use it because it will save you more time, at the end, what are the benefit of using it for the kids, especially for the kids, because we must always think that the main target group of any twinning project are always the kids, our students, no matter their age. So we must think this in advance. Why I'm using this powerful tool? What is the meaning of using it? In which way the kids will benefit from it? It will be important, or it will be just another thing that will save the kids also some time. So this is something I would like you to keep in mind when or before using IA. Tip 3, fostering collaborative partnerships. So, what to say about this? Um, Again, I think I already talked about this video conference, but it was the other one. It was not only the meetings with teachers, but it was also something that we have implemented along the project. Now it's specific for the teachers, all these meetings we had. I was a little bit confused. The first one, the collaboration also applied to the teachers, but also with external people to the school, to the project that can take an important role along the project time life. And the first slide I've presented, the first tip, was precisely one of those moments when we invited. I remember you that our project was related to well-being at school. So we had some experts invited along the project that have also done some webinars for the team, students and teachers. And this was also the part of the first tip. This third one, I rephrase again, all this collaboration among the team. Here we are only seven, as I told you before. These were the first ones. Then we reached the 10 number. The colleague at the center top is the founder, and I was the co-founder of the project. Three challenges. When counting the time, I don't want to. Okay, first challenge. This is something that we always will face, that students with varied interests, uh, even if we have only 10 students in a class, that it's quite rare, but usually 15, 18, 20, 25, 30 students, sometimes it can be quite hard to have them all involved in the same ideas, same projects. So we must listen to them, listen to their interests, even if we have 10 different things or 20 different things. It's always important to listen the kids, what they have to say about the project. Okay, we are talking about well-being, but what is this well-being? And we can we should include them also in the decision making of the project. So this was one of the topics. This activity was held here and also in the different all different partner schools. Um, we asked the kids to tell us what do you think about this topic, the theme 5, give to others. What could be an interesting idea to implement here as a school, as class? What can we do? So the kids start talking about, oh, we could support the animals who are abandoned and these associations who support these who have these colonies, especially cats here in my city in Lagos. So we have started this campaign to raise funds, especially food for cats. And here on the right side, you can see the kids with some of the things they have raised, but also below there is this girl with the white, I don't remember, not uniform, but something like this. It's the city veterinary that we invited her to come to our school to bring some animals, to talk about the importance of taking care of animals, to be responsible, to think about the adoption of cats and also the dogs. They brought especially some dogs because it's easier than to bring cats. And so it was 2 or 3 hours in an afternoon where we had the pleasure to host at our school the city veterinary, explaining us and also to explain these things that these chips that you put in the cats and in the dogs so they can be identified. They showed us how they do and the machine that reads this. So it was a grateful opportunity for the kids to see with their own eyes that something was be done, someone is always taking care of the animals, and there are more specific things that those that we usually think, oh, okay, it's a veterinarian, we just go there for the vaccination, and they don't know anything else. No, it was a really interesting day we have spent with the veterinary and her support person. So this is the first challenging, engaging the students. So we must talk with the students and listen to them and to learn also something with them and to include some of their ideas in our own projects. Then another limitation or challenge is the resource limitations, because when we talk about eTwinning, one of the first things we think about is the technologies. And I will use again the Portuguese example. Uh, we have lack of computers, Wi-Fi connections at school, devices. So this can be a challenge, but there is nothing that doesn't have a solution. And instead of working with 10 computers, we can use only five or two, and we divide the groups in different activities. Some of them use the computer, others don't need the computers, and so some of them use their cell phones. So it's always possible to find a solution. Even to work, if there is no Wi-Fi, we can work offline, and then we pass everything to the online, and so on. And I brought here, then I will not pass, but I think Alessia Pois will release, I'm not sure the presentation, but there is this activity where we had to questions and answers to do in an international team about challengings, and this was possible to do even with limited digital resources. So nothing, it's impossible usually. Then balancing administrative tasks with teaching. This is also quite a challenge because, as me, lots of teachers have a huge number of classes at school, and you have all the schedule full along the week, and you have your subject to teach all these contents you must work with the kids along the scholastic year, and plus a project, and then after our meetings and all this, and sometimes it can be quite tricky to balance this, but it's always I used here the word challenge. It's a challenge because it's a question of combining things and profit from the twinning to, instead of working this content as I used to do since 2000 or 2010, why not use or profit from an twinning project to work this specific content? And this way I'm combining the activities, because we don't have extra hours for an eTwinning club or an international club. So I must implement, and for me as a teacher, I think it's the most important to do these activities along the scholastic year in my classes, and don't ask the kids to have extra hours for the eTwinning. I think we can and we should combine these projects, these eTwinnings or Erasmus or whatever, within our contents and our subjects. So all the work must be done along our week in our classes. This can be a challenge, of course it is, but I think with some experience and with goodwill, we can implement it quite clear in a clear mode. Thirdly, inspiring resources that have influenced my journey as educator. I'm not sure, unless if there is any question or
So far, no questions. Mario, we just had some persons who are ambassadors also, so that they said that in the chat, but no questions.
okay, okay. So this is the third and the last part. Resources for me as a twinner and ex twinning ambassador. This app twinning nowadays it works better than it was 2 years ago. We don't have to spend too much time waiting for the pages to open and to change from to open our twin spaces and all these activities. Things are better, not perfect, but perfection doesn't exist. And as resources, we have on this app, eTwinning, the same kind of information that existed before, and these project kits there are and other tools that can be a good example to start, especially for those who don't have so much experience, and you can profit from these already finished and considered good practices as e-twinning projects. You can check all the activities that have been done, And this is divided by subjects, by levels of education. So SAP Twinning still is a good example of a resource we can always visit and check for our practices. Then the second resource, for me, it's quite important. These three, I took them from the SAP Twinning platform. It's the continuous learning and professional development. No matter if you have more or less time, it's important to find always a moment to learn a little bit more about something. And you can involve in webinars or online courses or international courses or local courses or webinars. So this continuous learning, it's for me, it's one of the most important things because okay, you already have quite a long professional past, and you learn a lot in different places with you work or with different persons you work with. But things are always changing, and this way we must keep updated. That's why in the previous topics I've included AI, artificial intelligence, because this is quite new. And okay, I could say, oh, I already know lots of apps. I don't need this. No, I'm always a curious person, and I need to be updated. Also to discuss some topics with the kids, and this is very important. So this resource too, I give you, it's this continuous learning and professional development. So keep in mind that training, it's part as teachers, as professionals. There is always, even if sometimes it can be a little bit boring, I'm sure that something will remain after the webinar, after the course, after the whatever the training type we have attended. So it's important to keep it updated, to keep us updated. And thirdly, I let you this document that probably you all know, the future of education and skills. I think it misses when zero there on the title. Now I'm reading. It's not 203, but it's 2030. Then I will correct it. And this report mainly focus on adapting the education system to prepare students for the challenges of the future, and with the emphasis on skills of the 21st century. It gives us quite important tips, especially to learn or to check what it's important for the kids to know. And if they learn this or know this or be able to do this, as teachers must be also updated professionally to support the kids to reach their goals. So that's why I brought here as a resource three this report from the OECD. It has. I took some topics that talks about the essential competencies, the education for values and citizenship, lifelong learning, integration of technology and innovation, student well-being, international cooperation, and curriculum flexibility and inclusion. And I will stop on this seven topic because here this is directly, not directly, but we can directly connect it with eTwinning, because when we talk about eTwinning, we are talking about curriculum. The idea is to profit from our curriculum as Portuguese or Italian teacher, or French or mathematics or philosophy, whatever, and to profit from this curriculum and to work in a different way with the kids, with other subjects in a common project. And this will give us some flexibility also to work the same topics in a different way, always thinking about what students should be, the skills, the competencies we should develop with them. In summary, this report proposes that future education be inclusive, flexible, and focus on essential competencies for students' personal and professional development. It is a call for government, schools, and educators to prepare students for an uncertain world yet one full of opportunities. And this is something I share also, and I think as a teacher, of course, it's an uncertain world. We don't know what will happen in a day, not even not in a year, not even a month or a day. But I'm sure that I will keep working with my kids in order to have them implement different activities, different tasks, different projects, because I know it will be important for their growth, not only as students, but also as human beings and future adults that will live with us, and we will have different professionals along their lives. Conclusion. As we continue in this journey, I encourage every educator in the tuning community to embrace collaboration, seek out new learning opportunities, and share their experiences. Together, we are stronger, more creative, and better equipped to shape the future of education. There is something I didn't focus in particular, but the share of experience part, it's also very important, because what's the use of having a great project, great activities, earn lots of prizes, but we don't share this knowledge, these activities with others, with other colleagues, with other schools. I think the part of this importance will be lost. So this is something I always thought as part, as me, as a person, and as a teacher and ambassador, is the share part of experiences. It's very important to sometimes we are a little bit selfish because, oh, this is so nice, it's only for me. No, it's important because even if we think that this activity or this project it's quite impressive, probably it's not perfect, and with a different eye over it we can improve it. So the share part of the sharing things, sharing experiences, it's also very important when we are talking about projects, and in particular about eTwinning. Basically was this. I thank you a lot for the your attention, and uh, I don't know if there is any question you want to ask, or I don't know if I talked too much, but I was checking the time. It's almost 4:20.
Thank you, Mario. No, that was perfect. The timing. We still have some minutes that we can use. So if our attendees want to pose any questions, this is the moment. Also, if you are curious about a specific resource that Mario mentioned, or anything that you would like to know, we still have a couple of minutes. In the meanwhile, I would like to really thank Mario for sharing your knowledge, your story, and all these very useful resources with us and with the attendees. I think participants could get a lot out of it, especially in terms of tips and key inputs to implement in the class as of even tomorrow.
I'm
So,
not sure if you will share or release this presentation. So
yeah.
I will correct this 203, not 203, but 2030.
Mhm.
And I will send you soon after the meeting. Yeah, it's already corrected. I will send it immediately to you.
No
Uh,
worries. That's great. Yeah, indeed, the recording of this session, along with the PowerPoint with all the links that Mario mentioned in the webinar, will be available in the annual theme group as of the next day. It's just the time to technically upload the recording with the updated PowerPoint that Mario will send me. So you will be able to catch up on everything. I would say that there are no further questions. We have thank you messages, but no further questions. So I think that we can wrap up here the session. Mario, if it's okay for you.
yeah, okay. I will, as I told you before, we are always running, and I will start a meeting in 10 minutes.
Great.
So,
So at least you have some
uh,
time to grab a coffee or take some air.
yeah.
Thank again to all our attendees for staying with us until now. I hope this was inspiring and helpful for you and for your teaching practice. Thank again, Mario, for sharing your time with us, and I wish you all a nice evening. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Mario.
Obrigado. Thank you.